Hey guys, I thought I'd explain to you guys what it's like to be in a psychiatric hospital because I think there's a lot of movies that portray psychiatric hospitals in a bad way, and being in one versus what most people think of them is actually very different. And the first thing being that you have solitary, where, like for me, I was in psychosis. I was taking off all my clothes, singing at the top of my lungs. I thought I could fly. I had to be away from everybody else and monitored, and they helped me all the way through my psychosis. They tried to put me to sleep with a sleeping shot, and I was so hyped up about being in psychosis that the shot didn't work. I was still awake for days and days. Coming out of psychosis, I was very hungry and confused as to where I was or what was going on, so they told me where I was, told me to write down who I wanted to be able to talk to or who could call in to talk to me. So I wrote down the names of those who I'm closest to, and they feed you breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I was extremely hungry after coming out of psychosis, and they have a room where everyone can eat together. Once I was feeling better and back in reality, they let me go out and eat with everybody else in the day room. And there's a TV, and there's magazines, and there's coloring books, and there's activities for you to do together as a group. And you're just waiting to hear from your doctor about, what treatment's better, about how long you should stay there according to what they believe, or if you can leave. And overall, it's not a fun place to be. It can be very scary, but it's very well monitored. And when you need them, they're there. And I know that a lot of people going into psychiatric hospitals, it's like day one, you kind of feel cut off. You only have so much time on the phone because you have to share the phone time with everyone there. But they do let you, at least at the psychiatric hospital I was at, they let us have calls in and out. I know that there are some hospitals or psychiatric hospitals that don't allow phone calls, and it's really on your doctor to okay when you're allowed to go and whatnot. But for me, it was I was allowed to have phone calls. They usually allowed you to get pictures, and then they usually allow you to have visits with your loved ones at certain times in the front room. There's really no escaping. There's, an elevator and a door and a lock system, and it's really sad. When I was staying, there was this old man who he kept trying to escape, and he kept crying because he didn't know why he was there and didn't understand what he was being treated for. And it can be very confusing if you don't ask questions. Like, a lot of people, they'll go in there and they're just looking around, confused as to how they got there. And if you don't dig or whatnot, then you may sit there and not know where you are or anything. So I had to rely on other people. They're just like, go ask why you're here, and don't worry, you're in a safe place. And I did think that was kind of weird, but I think the nurses initially told me everything, but I was just in such a distraught way that I couldn't remember when they initially were telling me everything because I was in psychosis. But yeah, psychiatric hospitals are not the super scary place that they're made out to be. They're monitored. If anyone goes in your room, then someone will immediately show up and break it up, and it's usually just someone wandering around lost. I actually broke the rule and went in someone's room because when the older man they had him labeled as risk of falling, and so he had fallen, and I went to help him back up, and the staff said, that's our job, don't worry, we'll get him up, you don't go in the room. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, but they have rules and they monitor everything, and they are there to help you and to get you out of there, get you on the right treatments, not to keep you there forever. That's not what they want. That's not their job. Just, they're there to help. So if you are thinking about checking yourself into a psychiatric hospital, and wondering what it's going to be like. I hope this was helpful to you, and I do hope that you decide to go ahead and check yourself in, and that you can listen to your doctor, get on treatments for whatever you may need to be treated on, or even if you just need to stay there a few days to get your head in the right spot because you're suffering from suicidal thoughts. You know, they're there to help you, feed you. Usually they provide a counselor or a pastor who can help talk you through it, and it's a good place. So I hope this was helpful to some of you, and I'm gonna get off now. Bye, guys.